This is episode number 37 of Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse. And in today's episode, we will be talking about Walt Disney World golf.
Everything Disney in and out of the house. Two grown-ups and a mouse.
Hi there, I'm AJ.
I'm Andrew.
And you are listening to, or watching, or listening and watching, Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse.
The podcast.
The videocast.
The YouTube channel.
The website.
Sure.
Of course, you found us.
Mm-hmm.
We're glad you found us. And if you're not sure how you found us, you can find us on your favorite podcast system, Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, you name it, we're there.
Yep.
You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
All of them, we use the same name, Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse. Or you can go to our website, twogrownupsandamouse.com.
That's right.
So we can get right into it.
Absolutely.
We are talking about golfing at Walt Disney World.
Yep.
And it is called Walt Disney World Golf. There's a whole section dedicated to a division, not a section, dedicated to golf.
Right.
And anything we say here, if you want to get clarification, please call 407, the area code for that area, 407 WDW Golf.
Yep.
And what do they call all the golf courses?
The happiest place on turf.
That's funny.
It is.
It's really amusing. We went to one of the golf courses a few weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And we saw the sign that said, "Welcome to the happiest place on turf."
Yep.
And then we went to another one of the pro shops, and the gentleman greeted us with, "Welcome to the happiest place on turf."
That's right.
So that was pretty funny.
It is.
So there are 4 golf courses.
That's right. Not including the miniature golf.
Not including miniature golf. But there are 4 golf courses: Disney's Palm Golf Course, Magnolia Golf Course, Lake Buena Vista Golf Course, and Oak Trail Golf Course. Mm-hmm. And we'll go into the details of those afterwards.
Right.
But there are some things about each of these courses that are the same.
Sure.
Across the board. And I didn't write down what the website is, but if you look up Walt Disney World Golf, it's, one of your top search options will be the Walt Disney World
Right.
Golf. You could click on that and you can get the information that we're giving.
That's right.
But I found out that you can receive complimentary transportation via taxi to guests of select Walt Disney World resorts. Mm-hmm. So they will taxi you in if you want to play golf.
That's right.
And I don't think this is in order, but you can have your clubs transported from one golf course to the other complimentary.
Right.
They won't charge you for that. So I thought that was pretty nifty as well.
No, I mean, it's a lot less of a hassle to have to drag your clubs around with you because first of all, you're going to have to get them to Walt Disney World, and then you're going to have to drag them between courses and in your hotel room, and they'll just take care of them all for you. So
isn't there a service kind of like, one of those storage places, like the big storage places, but there's a service where they're just lockers? Yeah,
there's actually a few of them where, and it's not just for golf stuff, but if you go to Disney often, you'll have to figure out what often means, but and you pay a yearly fee. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. It's not expensive compared to like overage charges on an airline. You pay those
baggage charges. If you're paying $50 or $100 a bag, right, it might be more cost effective to rent one of these small locker type storage facilities.
And the way it works is you call them up and they'll deliver it to your hotel. So it's not like you have to worry about having a rental car and going someplace off site and getting lost and all that other stuff.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So you're not just renting the space, you're renting them to get it back and forth to you. Oh, that's nice.
So, and then, like you said, depending on what your charges are for luggage, I mean, you might find that it's actually cheaper to do that than...
And even if it's the same price, it's probably easier.
Right.
Because then instead of having to transport, especially, today's episode, we're talking about golfing. And if you're a golfer and you're thinking, oh my God, I have to lug my golf clubs back and forth to from the airport to the resort and whatever, paying for that convenience. Now, we've looked recently at golf clubs and they can be expensive.
Sure.
And they rent golf clubs.
Right.
That's available, but that can also be expensive. So depending on how often you golf, what your level is, et cetera, and whatnot, it's definitely worth looking into. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe we know someone that likes to golf at Disney, but because of the fees of transporting the clubs and, all the hassle of bringing it with them, I believe they started just renting.
Sure.
But depending on how often they go, it might be worthwhile to get one of those lockers.
Right.
Either way, it's something to look into.
Sure.
But something else I found out was they are all operated by Arnold Palmer Golf Management. So, which is smart of Disney.
Yeah. It's also a little weird, that guy just made a drink.
Right. Ha ha ha.
Oh, well.
But I thought that's pretty nice. I guess it's kind of like Richard Petty's driving experience, which some people are probably like, what are you talking about? Because it's not there anymore. But Richard Petty's driving experience was, you could explain what it was better than I can.
Well, you could pay to drive a race car around the now removed Walt Disney Speedway.
But the reason I'm making the comparison is Disney teamed up with them and let them put their facility on their property because it benefited both of them.
Right.
So, Disney probably said, this Arnold Palmer Corporation knows how to manage golf better than we do.
Sure.
And because they know what golfers want, what golfers need, whatever and whatnot.
Of course.
So maybe that had something to do with their decision to.
I'm sure it did. Because it's not, the golf is probably a good side business for Disney, but it's probably also not a huge business for them. It's one of those value add. It'll bring some people in and, they make some money off of it. But, is it worth it to train staff to become experts in golf management? Probably not.
Right.
So,
it's interesting. So I just thought that was,
right.
That was definitely an interesting point. But of course, reservations are highly recommended if you want to golf at any of these 4 golf courses. Each of the courses has its own pro shop and clubhouse, and all of the clubhouses have locker rooms and showers, which, is very important to some people. They're going to want to make sure that they can freshen up afterwards, because maybe they're going straight from the golf course to meet their friends or loved ones at one of the parks or wherever, and they don't want to, be all sweaty, or they don't want to be wearing their...
Or they're hitting the 19th hole for a little bit extra after they're done.
What's the 19th hole?
It's the bar.
Well, and another reason that's important is there's required golf attire, which I think is very common at all golf courses, but Disney, because... I don't want to offend anyone, so I want to say it in the right way, but people that golf want you to have a certain persona, almost. They don't want people just coming off the street in tank tops and jeans and shorts and, and denim. Right. It's the decorum and everything about golf. It's not just the game. So they, even though you're at Disney and, because it's funny, a lot of the restaurants have attire, but they're a little more lenient at some of them than others because they know that you might be running late and coming from the parks. Right. I don't know if they do that for the golf. They might say, no, you're wearing denim. You can't come in.
Oh, they might. So, I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly how strict they are, but it does say there are dress codes. So again, that's why it's really important that they have the locker rooms there so that you can change there or afterwards. You don't want to wear that into the park. Whether you want to use the locker rooms before, after, or both, it's nice that they have that. There is rental equipment available. I believe I mentioned that, but kids rentals are free. So kids, the charges for the kids to play aren't free, but at least the kids' rentals are free, and that's really nice. If you are playing on one of the 18-hole courses, you may be paired with someone.
Probably.
So that is something to be aware of. Each of the 4 courses has a putting green and a driving range. Mm-hmm. And for all 4 courses, you are not allowed to bring food or beverage onto the course. You're not allowed to bring a cooler. You're not allowed to do any of that.
The only thing is that was weird is when we were up there a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago, whenever we were up there last, one of the guys at the pro shop was pointing to the cooler mounted to the golf cart. So I'm thinking maybe you're not allowed to bring your own. You can buy theirs, of course, and put it in their cooler, but
possibly.
Or maybe this is new and I don't know. But
I mean, this is what it said on the website.
Yeah.
But they do have, each of the courses has themed roving refreshment carts, and it looks like each course has 3 of them. Mm-hmm. Or at least each of the 18-hole courses, because they might have copied and pasted when they put down the information.
Sure.
And they offer a multi-round pass that's good for 10 days, but it's not combinable with any other offers. Mm-hmm. And the first round of golf, they'll charge you full price. The second round, 20% off. The third round, 30% off. The fourth round, 40% off. And your 5th round and any subsequent rounds would be 50% off.
Right.
So that they didn't have the price of that, or if it's a complimentary thing you just need to ask for. Again, you can find out information on that by calling 407-WDW-GOLF. Mm-hmm. But it is something available. Right. And another thing that we looked into, which was kind of interesting, was that Players Club.
Right.
Have you ever, when you were younger, you worked at a golf course?
Well, now that was really, really young.
Right.
I have no idea what they did back then.
Oh, well, the Players Club, it says it starts at $29 a month. Mm-hmm. And if you get the yearly Players Club membership, they'll give you 1 month for free. Right. And it includes things such as complimentary clinics, which are held daily, complimentary access to the players' ranges with unlimited range balls. Mm-hmm. And there were some other discounts, discounts on food and beverage, different discounts. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah,
and it might be
if you're local or
right. I mean, there were other. You don't have to get the year Players Club Pass. You could get 1 month, 3 month. There were a few different options, but it was definitely something worth looking into.
Sure.
And what we found interesting, because we wanted to kind of give everyone an idea of where each of the courses were located, and we looked on the maps, but it was a little weird. We're not entirely certain where you would check in for each of these courses, because on one of the sites, it said that you can access 3 out of the 4 courses from Shades of Green.
Right.
But when we looked at the map, we're like, but this course is over here and this course is way over here.
Right.
How would you access it from Shades of Green? So again, that's not something we know entirely, but you could find that out if you call 407-WDW-GOLF and tell them what you're looking for. I'm sure they'll give you the options of the 4 courses, and they can tell you where you would need to go to play that course. So just make sure you get that information.
Because we're only really familiar with the course that's at the Elk Trail, which is at Shades of Green for sure. We know that, and because we've been to that pro shop a few times and been to Shades of Green once or twice. And then the golf course that's at Saratoga, because that's obvious because it's basically surrounding Saratoga. So, but the other ones we've not been there, or maybe we have. We just haven't noticed.
Right. Anything is possible.
Right.
Well, the first one that we'll talk about.
Somebody will talk about.
I'm doing a lot of talking today. Is Disney's Palm Golf Course.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a par 72.
What does that mean? Like that's a course average?
Well, that's the score you should have at the end. Each hole you're gonna. Each hole will have par 1, par 2. Well, none of them will be par 1, but par 2, par 3, par 4.
Yeah, because doesn't par mean this is how many shots it should take you?
Correct.
Yeah, this should take you a hole in one.
Right.
Yeah, even par 2 seems kind of low to me.
Yeah, no, that would be very, very rare.
Yeah. So that's a par 72 golf course. And when by yardage, that means the length of the course.
Yeah, that's total yardage.
So that's 6,870
yards. Yep.
yards. What's the rating? Do you know what that is?
I don't know.
Well, if you're a golfer and you know what the rating is, they have a 73.7 rating and a slope of 131. But this Palm Golf Course was redesigned by Arnold Palmer Golf Course Designs.
Right.
And we think it might be located behind the Four Seasons Resort.
Right.
So again, that was something that it gave the address on their website, but it didn't say check in here, or maybe it did say it and we just didn't see it.
Sure.
Another golf course on property is Disney's Magnolia Golf Course. It also is par 72. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit bigger. It says yardage 7,516. Their rating is 76 and the slope is 141.
Yep.
11 water hazards. Are those difficult to play if you're a golfer?
Well, it depends how good of a golfer you are, I guess.
But if you get it in the water, then you
take a penalty.
Do you take a mulligan?
Well, that depends on how serious you are about taking score on the game.
The only reason I'm familiar with the word mulligan, I was friends with someone years ago, probably almost 20 years ago, and she had a cat named Mulligan.
Wow.
And she said it basically means do-over.
It's a semi-common term in English. Take a mulligan is do it again.
Right.
And in golf, that's, if you're not really being serious or you're just having fun or whatever, taking a mulligan is, something you do.
Right. That's how I found out what a mulligan is, because of her cat. So.
Right. But if you're keeping score, then no, there's no
right.
There's no
you can't do a mulligan. That golf course was renovated in 2015, so that's 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
We're in 2019 now, and this one is certified by Audubon International as a cooperative wildlife sanctuary. Mm-hmm. That was pretty interesting. There's also the Lake Buena Vista Golf Course, again par 72. And the yardage for this one is closer to the Palm Golf Course. It's 6,745 yards with a rating of 72.3 and a slope of 133. Now, what I found really interesting was they've hosted PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, and USGA events.
Right.
So even though it's on Disney property, they still do national golf events there, which is kind of cool.
Well, it also gives you an idea that it's a serious golf course, not just.
Sorry, the two of us are. If we're looking to the side at the cat who decided to act up while we're recording.
Of course.
Always.
Yep. But it gives you an idea that it's not a because there's probably people out there that would think, oh, it's Disney, it's golf, it's probably not very serious, or it's just a tacky add-on kind of thing that they're trying to get your money from, but they're real courses,
right? Which is another reason why it's nice that it's operated by Arnold Palmer Golf, because they might be able to help, So that the Lake Buena Vista Golf Course also is certified by Audubon International as a cooperative wildlife sanctuary. The 7th hole has an island green. What does that mean?
Well, the green
is an island.
Is an island.
Thanks.
You walk over a bridge to get to it, and you have,
like it literally is an island. Okay.
Yeah, and there's water all around it. So when you hit your ball, you got to go over the water, or take a mulligan, or
see, learn something today.
Yeah.
And we believe that is the one located at Saratoga Springs,
right?
Based on what we saw. Now, the Oak Trail Golf Course is only a 9-hole walking course. You cannot take a golf cart to this one.
I think they do have hand carts, though.
Yes, we did see hand carts while we were over there. So they do rent the hand carts. I'm sure. Well, I don't want to say I'm sure. I believe you could bring your own hand cart.
Sure.
But that one, because it has half as many holes as the other courses, has half the par, has a par 36 and a yardage of 2,913. So it's less than half the size of any of the courses.
Right.
It did not give us a rating or a slope for that one, but that makes sense because it's not an 18-hole course.
Right. It's not going to be It's not a more professional level course.
Right. And this one is definitely located at Shades of Green.
Yes.
This one we know because we've been there.
Right.
And we've probably mentioned before, Shades of Green is a military resort, and you have to be active duty military or retired, veteran, et cetera,
Right.
one of those military classifications in order to stay at Shades of Green.
Right.
However, anyone is welcome to play at this golf course.
Correct.
It's a public course. So don't worry that, oh my God, but this golf course is at Shades of Green. That's not an
Right.
issue. It's open. It again is they're all operated by Arnold Palmer. I believe I already mentioned this is a walking course, no golf carts allowed. And if you have the Walt Disney World Platinum Plus Pass, which is only available to Florida residents, or if you purchase the Park Hopper Plus option,
Right.
and because we're Florida residents, when I was going online, it wasn't showing me the other, like I tried different options,
Right.
and I don't know, there may be an annual pass that includes this as well.
There might be.
One of the higher level annual
Right.
passes, but it wasn't, I didn't feel like putzing around with it to figure
Right.
it out. Because again, it was only showing me the Florida resident related tickets, but one of the annual passes may include the green fees.
Sure.
Because like I said, the Platinum Plus Pass, which is Florida resident, or the Park Hopper Plus Pass, both of those include the green fees at
Right.
Oak Trail only.
Right.
So, and you may be able to get discounts at the other ones. And again, I use the word may,
Right.
but we've said this before, it always is best to ask, what's the worst they're going to say? No.
Right.
So if you say, hey, I'm a pass holder, do I get a discount?
Right.
If you say, hey, I'm a Florida resident, do I get a discount?
Yep.
Or, a lot of the courses do offer afternoon discounts because most golfers like the morning when it's a drop cooler.
Well, that's why, we didn't mention any pricing here because A, it's going to change. B, it changes depending on season. It depends on what time of the day. It depends. There's a lot. They actually have, and like you said, the multi-round pass. I mean,
I know at
there's a
Shades
million
of Green,
ways.
there's a military
Right.
discount. It might actually be at all of the courses, but I
Right.
know at Shades of Green, there's a military discount. So
Sure.
there's lots of discounts
Right.
available or ways you could save.
Sure.
So you just need to ask, tell them what you have and whatever.
Right.
Now, we already talked about how you're not allowed to bring a cooler, you're not allowed to bring food onto the courses, but because Oak Trail is a walking course, it's a little bit different. They do have water fountains and beverage stations located at holes 4, 6, and 8 because it's only a 9-hole course. So,
Right.
and there's a food and beverage station can be found between holes 4 and 5,
Right.
which makes perfect sense because that's about the center of the course.
Yeah.
So that's the details we have on Walt Disney World Golf for the professional, I say in air quotes, golfing. But if you like golf, but you don't necessarily want to go professional golfing, they do have mini golf courses. There is, of course, Fantasia Gardens, which
Yep.
is by Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Resort, or the Winter Summerland Golf Course in the parking lot of Blizzard Beach.
Right. And we talked about both of those.
When we talked about the water parks
Yeah.
a few
just
episodes
a
ago.
few episodes ago. So
Yeah. So there's a lot of options for golfing. And again, I'll repeat the phone number. It's 407 WDW Golf.
that's right.
So that's going to give you the best information. Or if you just look online, look up Walt Disney World Golf, you'll easily find their website.
Yep.
And you can get a lot of information from there as well. We are looking forward to golfing soon, but we have to take many lessons
Maybe one or two.
before we do that. But it's something we're looking forward to trying out because, again, we're 2 grown-ups and a mouse. And our mouse is not a child.
Nope.
It stands for Mickey. So it's just the 2 of us.
That's right.
And so golfing is something that without children, it'd be a nice thing for us to try and do.
Sure.
Give us another option when we go to the parks.
That's right.
But the option I'm going to take now, which I know is not surprising, is I need to eat dinner.
All right.
Because it is getting late over here. It is dinner time over here. So on that note, if you have not done so already, please subscribe. If you have, thank you. We are glad to have you. And please feel free to give us feedback. Feel free to ask us questions. Feel free to recommend subjects. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to get your feedback. And please make sure, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell your coworkers. They'll say, I don't like Disney.
Tell a stranger.
That's okay. Hopefully, maybe they will like Disney.
That's right.
Maybe they'd like it and don't realize it. I think a lot of people, when they think Disney or they think Walt Disney World, again, I'm using my air quotes, they think of the parks and all the things you have to do inside of the parks. But this is a great example of a lot of fun you can have on Disney property, and you don't have to pay to get into the parks to do it.
That's right.
So there's a lot to do at Disney without going into any one of the 4 main theme parks.
That's right.
So something to keep in mind. But on that note, thank you for subscribing or subscribe now. Tell everybody, and I'm going to eat. So I'm going to say good night.
Good morning.
Okay, I didn't say good morning. How about good evening?
Good day.
Good afternoon?
How about goodbye?
Okay, bye.
Bye.